Hi, this is Mrs. Oakley, and today we're going to look at Unit 8, Lesson 6. By the end of this lesson, you'll be able to name the parts of an expression. Okay, there are three very important terms that I need you to know when dealing with an expression. The first one is a variable term. A variable, as we talked in Lesson 1, is a letter that is taking the place of a number we don't know. So, variable terms. Variable terms always have a number and letter together, like 8x in this example, 5x, like 12x. But sometimes, and I want to give you an example, excuse me, I want to give you an example that's not in up here, okay? Sometimes you just see a variable like x. There is a number. Remember, there's always a number. If you don't see the number, there's a 1 in front of it because 1 times whatever the letter is or whatever x represents the number is not going to change it. Okay, now the next one I want you to understand is the coefficient. This one is the one that attaches to the variable. So 8, 5, and 12 in this example, or even that 1 we talked about, remember, in this example. All right, so even when you see a variable and it asks you to name the coefficient, if it's just an x, you put that 1. Now, variable terms have to stay with the number and the variable. Coefficients are just the number without the variable. Now, the third term is constant term. Constant terms are terms that don't have a variable. They're never going to change. Because 8, as soon as we put whatever x is, so let's say x is 2, 2 times 8, 8 turned into 16. So it changed. Whereas 1 is always going to stay 1 to be added to something. So, like 1 is it, 23 is a constant, and in this example, 7 is also. All right, let's practice. So, in this expression, I want to go through and I want to name the different parts. So, here we go. Variable terms. Remember, these are the ones that have the number and the letter. Okay. Coefficients, they're co-partners. They're co-workers. They work together. So 4 and 7 are the coefficients. They're the co-worker to the variable. Okay. And then constant in this case is just 9. All right, let's look at this next example. We have 7a is our variable term. Okay, 7 is the coefficient because that's what's working with the a. And then 1 and 16 are the constant terms. All right, go to the next example. Okay, so 6k and 8k are the variable terms. Now, what works with the variable is the coefficient, so 6 and 8. They work with the variable. Okay, and then 9 is a constant and 1 is a constant. All right, here we go. Here's one of those tricky ones. Okay, when you see something like R, I personally like to always put a 1 in front of it because then it reminds me when I get to coefficients to name that 1. So we have R and we have 2R. So we have 1R and 2R. Okay, so what are the coefficients? Well, the first R has a 1. It may be hidden, but it's there, and a 2. And then the constants in this case are 14 and 5. All right, it is now your turn to practice. Go ahead and pause the screen or video and then come back and see if you got it correct. All right, for number 5, you should have said the variables are 7W. You could have said just W. That would have been okay in this instant, but I always like to put my 1 so I don't forget. Now, for coefficients, you have to have the 7 and you have to have the 1 because those are the co-workers, those are the partners. Constant terms in this one is 6 and 13. Okay, moving on. All right, variables. Well, we have 1/2 p, and we also have 9p. Okay, what are the coefficients? Well, 1/2 can be a fraction, and 9. And then what are the constants? It's 14 and 2. Okay, here we have a couple. We have 8x. Now we have 3y. Wait, they're different variables. Does that matter? Doesn't matter because it has a variable. They don't have to be the same letter or the same variable, but they do have to have a variable in it. And 15y. So what are the coefficients? Well, remember, those are the partners. 8, 3, and 15. And what about the constant terms? There are none. And sometimes that happens. Okay, let's look at this one. We have 3m as a variable. We have 7n as a variable. And we have 8m as a variable. Okay, what are our coefficients? Remember, those are the partners. 3, 7, and 8. Do we have a constant? Yes, we do. 14 is a constant. It's all by itself. Great job. You finished Unit 8, Lesson 6 video. Go ahead and head back to Classcraft, and I'll see you back here for Unit 8, Lesson 7.